Welcome to Identiverse 2025. We're here recording live from the Cyberist TV studio on the expo floor at the Mandalay Bay Conference Center in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Adrian Sanabria, and joining me for this interview is David Lee, Field CTO at Savient. Welcome.
Thanks,
How are
man.
you?
I'm good. Got my steps in because it, takes forever to walk over here, but, feeling good. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we've both been doing a lot of recording.
Yeah, a lot of recording today.
So jumping into it, this is not a term that I've heard before, but first of all, maybe just a little bit about what Savient does, and then we'll go into it from there.
Yeah, man. So Savient's an identity security platform, right? It's the new buzz phrase in identity, but started out as IGA, right, as Identity Governance Administration, but since has then grown to be a unified platform that allows customers to solve their identity problems from privileged access management, just-in-time access, SOD access controls, governance, that whole kind of cycle. That's what we do. We provide it to them in the cloud, helping them transition and handle all these identity problems that they have all in one platform.
Yeah, and I remember as an industry analyst over at 451 Research talking to Savient in the early days, like 2014.
Yeah.
And just the other day, like I hear nothing but good things about Savient.
That's awesome.
Just yesterday, somebody was raving about how nice the UI UX is. So I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, listen, it's a lot of hard work went into making sure we did that. Here's the interesting thing about Savient. I used to hear about them a lot. I've been in the industry for 20 years. That's where all the great comes from. Listen, I'm older than I look, folks.
There we go.
But one of the things I always gave them credit for is that the leaders of this company had a vision of today 10 years ago, right? They knew that this swing was going to happen, that would consolidate back again, and that customers wouldn't want like integration, then best of breed tools and pay all that. They wanted to have everything in one platform, and that the whole cloud thing was really going to be where it was going to move. And so taking that vision and getting to this point to where now the industry's ready for that vision, and to be able to support that vision has been awesome to see and come together. And that's one thing that with all that, we still kept that kind of startup mentality of, hey, let's get to the customers, what are your pain points, let's fix it, let's keep it evolving and keep it going. So it's been really fun.
Yeah, in 2014, when they pitched it to me, I was like, okay, so you guys are going to boil the ocean. All right, good luck with it. And they did it.
Right, exactly.
It was incredible. Incredible to watch over the years. So what does data-driven identity leadership mean? That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is a mouthful, right? It's really a move to being able to empower organizations to actually make decisions around data on how they're going to run their identity programs. And the reason why that's important is identity, historically, we kind of come in and say, okay, we're going to do identity access management, we're going to do this project that's great. What are we going to accomplish? Oh, we're going to go secure all the things. We're going to go provision all the things, or we got audit or compliance to go do. And what we're seeing is that we have these stalled projects to where they get started and they never continue. They just kind of sit in this state of like, hey, we got 10 apps onboarded and that's all we ever do. So going data-driven is like saying all this data that we have access to, all the things for how many accounts you have, what's provisioned, the activity on those accounts, we can give that information to our users and go, okay, now that you look at this, let's start making decisions on how you want to drive your program next, right? Give you a concrete example. Let's look at it and say, hey, we want to get rid of overprivileged accounts. We really want to do zero standard privilege, but how many overprivileged accounts do we have? Like, how do they use those overprivileged accounts? So be able to take real data that says, here you go, you've got 2,000 accounts that are all overprivileged. Now I can start building metrics and going, okay, I want to reduce this to 100 in the next 18 months. How am I going to go about that? Now you've got that data, but now you can also track it and continue to look at it within your tools to go, here's how we're improving, here's how we're moving. So it gives identity programs now a way to really say, here's what we're doing, here's how we're showing it, and here's how we can start planning where we want to go next. And that's something we really haven't had in identity.
So if I can, just see if I'm understanding it, using that identity, these insights, you can use that to break it down into manageable projects and goals. And then you're not looking at trying to get everything done all at once, right?
Right, exactly.
Because without that data, maybe it's not clear what you should do next, or how to break it into something you can get done 90 days at a time, 30 days at a time.
Right.
I've seen plenty of these projects. When I was on the enterprise side, every project was an 18-month project.
Right.
And they all failed.
Exactly, right? But also to that point, it's also like, always got to answer the ROI question, right? Or that question when it's like, your boss comes in and goes, hey, so we spent $3 million. what did I get? Where are we at, right? And so identity has always been hard. It's like, oh,
Where did
well,
it go?
we did these things, but it's like, but what does that mean? What did that do to the organization?
And we still have all these problems.
Right. And so now, like, having that data, it goes, okay, listen, where we started was it took us 2 weeks to provision an account, right? Now we've reduced that down by 50%. And now we're going to onboard these applications because this is going to allow us to reduce that by 30%. Again, now you're having data conversations. And once you can have those, right, you can map that to initiatives within the business. You can map that to higher level goals. Like, so you can talk to the CISO about, hey, you want to reduce risk this year. What are your main initiatives or where you want to reduce risk? We can align to that and then we can measure by that, right? So it's having a different conversation that, again, like I said, in identity, we really haven't been having. It's been a struggle trying to like define what success is. This just gives us a way to go, this is success and this is what it looks like, right?
So how much does a tool get you there and say, hey, here's the stuff you should be doing versus you having to put some input into it and have some idea already of where you want to go? Like to what extent is it just going to pop up and say, hey, you know, your peers are doing this, you should do this also, versus like somebody actually has to put in the reporting criteria to get these insights out of the data?
So it takes both, right? It's not a complete magic wand the way we look at this, right? So when you're talking about data-driven insights, you have to have a general direction of where you want to go. Best analogy I like to use is, right, for anybody that runs a marathon, right? I don't like to run. I'm not a runner. So, but if you tell me, hey, Dave, you want to go run a marathon?
I used to be 100 pounds ago.
Okay. Well, if you say, hey, Dave, you want to go run a marathon? I was like, tell me about the marathon. If you say, oh, it's just open-ended, we're going to go run. Absolutely not. No. I need to know how far is it, where we're going, and where's the end, because how do I know to measure how far I can go? Because if you tell me we're going to go run, you know, I don't know, 10 miles, but every mile we get a beer, I'm like, I might be in for that. Because I can just tell myself, okay, every mile I can go. But the point is, you know how far the end is, you know how to measure it, right? So bringing that back, it's really about saying, okay, now you can look at this thing and say, I can measure how far I want to go. And I can bring those data insights and say, all right, this is going to be about 10 miles, and I'll track it this way.
Yeah, and it does seem, at least in my experience, that the length of the project, like how much, you know, breaking it down into something, like you just lose people, man.
You do.
Like the motivation goes away, other things pop up, competing priorities. Like and I don't know what that magic length of a project is, like exactly what that ideal. I don't know if it's 47 days, you know, but it's not 18 months. I can tell you that.
It's not 18 months. It's not 18 months. And listen, so having a general idea of what you want to accomplish, and then, you know, feeding it some data to help you make those decisions is helpful. But also, you have to realize that with identity, it's not just a straightforward project, right? It is a program, it's an ongoing thing, but being able to break it down into those chunks to where you can say, okay, look, we're gonna do this much of a sprint, so maybe we'll say for this one, the magic number is 47 days, we go, hey, every 47 days, this is what we're gonna do. And at the end of 47 days, hey, we can have success, we'll have a party, ice cream, cookies, whatever we wanna do, and then move on to the next 47 days, so.
Yeah, and that's one of the original reasons I moved into consulting and out of the enterprise is that sense that, oh, we completed something never happened.
Right.
And especially in security, like we would have all these 18 months projects and almost all of them would fail. And it was just really, it was depressing. It felt like we were never getting anywhere.
Exactly. No, that's hard, man. Like, so, people like to win, right?
It's huge for morale.
It really is.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been talking about using the data to identify gaps and opportunities. I think that's a lot of what you're going to do with that data-driven approach. And then we talked about the length of the project. How do you measure this? How do you measure success with some of this stuff as well? Maybe talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So part of it is really working with the customer in the beginning. Go, okay, let's help you define what that looks like. Mm-hmm. The best thing we like to see is really time to value, right? Mm-hmm. Like being able to get in and say, okay, which data can you look at that actually gives you something actionable? Like I'll give you one of the examples, like with our customers that we've been working with, right? They were able to see actionable insights within like 30 minutes of, you know, deploying a solution, getting in data, and they're like, oh wow, like here's this data, here's these findings, we can actually go do something. This would have saved us hours if we had to do this manually, right?
Right.
So we really kind of focus on that in the beginning, like what again, quick wins, like for those of us that have been in consulting, we always like low-hanging fruit, right? What's the first thing we can go do just to say, hey, here's what this looks like and get that little bit of success? So the main focus is really, in the beginning, time to value. What's the biggest thing that you're struggling with today?
Yeah.
Let's look at that and understand how can data help you make a better decision here? And then let's go after that, show you that you can have success here, and then start building from there.
Yeah, alleviating those pain points. Yeah, so let's jump. I love stories. I love anecdotes.
Dude, I got thousands of them. Thousands of them.
So yeah, a real world example where data insights led to, so basically what you were just saying, major improvement or transformation. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've seen that a couple of different times with some of our customers that we work with as we start taking this approach, right? And really it's about, if I take a broader view, right, what customers are now seeing, where we're at with technology right now is we have this ability to consume massive amounts of data, right? And be able to get patterns out of that data and see that like quickly and show visibility into what these patterns mean, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest thing that we really haven't been able to do before in identity. I won't say other areas because data science and data mining has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But specifically in identity, the ability to do that and show like just context into what this application means, what this resource means, right? So here's this account and it's connected to these resources, and so it means it can do these things, right? Just that alone, that visibility has been huge in helping customers understand, how do I start to think about modeling this access now? Because now I understand, like, wow, this role that I've been assigning is really, really overprivileged because I didn't realize it's assigning access to all these back-end resources over here, right? So that area alone has really been one of the things where we've been seeing a lot of results with our customers, just understanding that data and then kind of taking the next steps.
Do you have a specific example with a customer though?
Not one that I can share. Okay. Right. So the most specific one is like I said, a customer we had that, again, within 30 minutes they were able to find like actionable reports once their data came in. But,
I mean, as a vendor, it's great to see also. Like that's exactly what you want to see. And I've worked for some vendors where it's great to have that kind of a product because it's something they've never seen before. Like it's a question that's always been in their head. And then when you can actually answer that for them, and see that light bulb, I like to call it the light bulb moment.
Exactly, love it.
Having that dashboard or that one report that flips on that light bulb. Love to see it.
Yeah, every time. That's how I know you were a consultant, because that's every consultant's dream. To see that light bulb moment happen.
And I did a lot of pen testing. Did PCI QSA work, and especially with pen testing. Hitting mid-market companies, somewhat large enterprise, a lot of retail companies, almost always. Some of those moments going on. I've got stories too. So what advice would you give in just moving from this kind of stalled, nothing's progressing, kind of reactive kind of mindset and situation to something that's more proactive? Like, identity is huge.
It is.
Where do you start with it?
Yeah, so the first place to start is look at what is the things that you want to accomplish within your business, right? I'm very much, you've got to align yourself to the business goals and what your organization's trying to do. So I say the first thing you do is start there. And if you look at that and go, well, Dave, I'm in this huge organization and okay, cool. Just go up a level, right? What does your boss want to get done this year? What does your boss's boss want to get done this year?
What are they complaining about?
Right, okay, so now that you have that, okay, this is what we want to go do. How do we get there, right? What is it going to take to get there? And what do we need to measure to show progress to get there? And once you kind of take that kind of algorithm, sorry guys, I'm a nerd, computer science, right? And apply it to just one area. So pick one area. So if you're talking to your boss's boss, here's this pain point. Let's work backwards from here and go, okay, you want to get to this initiative, you want this done. How should we measure this? What are the things we're going to do to get there? Let's start there and start seeing what data we have to go collect against that, and just start marching against it. And then once you kind of have that down, now you can pick the next initiative. Now you can pick the next one, and it just kind of grows from there, right? Eat the elephant one bite at a time. Yeah.
I bet if you talk to the help desk, the service desk, I bet they have some ideas on what you can do.
They've got tons of them.
What do your tickets look like? What ticket do you? Oh, why are you resetting pass? We can do self-service password resets, right?
Exactly, right.
What are you doing? Yeah.
How many of these tickets do you get a day?
Yeah.
Do you really want to know this in that?
Oh man, that's great. Yeah. Wish we could talk more, but we're out of time. David Lee, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, man.
It's
It's been fun.
And to find out more about Savient, you can visit securityweekly.com/SavientIDV. For all Identiverse 2025 coverage by Cyber Risk Alliance, you can also visit securityweekly.com/IDV. Thanks again, David.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Great.
it. Thanks, guys. All right.